So starting off, I parted my hair into four general sections, and then I'm beginning to work in the back because it's easier that way. And then I spray each section with just a small amount of water to get it damp before I go ahead and apply the TGIN Green Tea Super Moist Leave-In Conditioner as my moisturizer. And then I work that product in, going from my ends all the way up to my roots before going in with the TGIN Buttercream Daily Moisturizer. This is the product that will give my hair shine, definition, and make sure that my braids hold together. And after I work the product in, I use my Denman brush as always to make sure that the product is evenly distributed and each of my hair strands are properly moisturized before moving on to the actual braiding process. And before I start the braids, I separate the sections one more time just because I'm doing a really defined braid out, and the bigger your sections are, the less defined your hair will be. So yeah, I separate them and I brush my hair just to make sure it's smooth before I start braiding. Now, if you don't know how to braid, it's okay because I'm about to teach you. So what you want to do is you want to have three evenly sized strands, and then you want to cross them over pretty much. So you'll take like the left side and put it over the middle, and then the right side over the middle, left side over the middle, right side over the middle. You'll keep repeating this process all the way till you get to the about an inch away from the ends, and then you'll see me use my Denman brush, and I brush through just to kind of see which way the hair wants to curl, and then I'll coil it around my finger to lock the hair into place, and then that braid is pretty much finished. And I do want to mention something about hand placement while braiding. You can see how far away my hands are from the braid, and that's honestly not the best way to do it. But because I'm doing a tutorial, I want to make sure you guys could actually see what I'm doing, so that's why I'm braiding so far away, so my hands aren't blocking your view. But yeah, it's actually best to have your hands as close as possible to where you're braiding, and you want to use your first two fingers along with your thumb to make sure the braids aren't too loose. But overall, this is a really easy process. I think it only took me about 35 minutes to do my whole head. And that's only because I'm doing a tutorial and didn't want to speed through. But yeah, this honestly probably could have took me 20 minutes. So it's really easy to do and super fun. Okay, so now while you pretty much watch me repeat the same process on my whole head, I wanted to give you guys a few tips I've learned since I started doing braid outs. And one of those first tips has to do with sectioning and parts. You definitely want to make sure your braid sizes are close to equal, but your parts don't need to be perfect. If you purposely put your parts in your hair, like with a rat tail comb or something like that, then they'll stay there even after you unravel the braids, which can be kind of annoying. So I just use my fingers and try to grab even size sections. That way I don't have any parts stuck until I wash my hair again. But I mean, if you plan on wearing the braids for a while, then it's okay if you want to part your hair or whatever, so they look more nice, I guess. But I'm doing a braid out video, so I do not want the parts to be even and have these ugly parts stuck in my hair or whatever. And the most important tip, to me anyways, has to do with the amount of water and product you add to your hair. When it comes to washing goes, you want to have your hair as wet as possible, and you want to be heavy with products to make sure your hair will have definition. Well, when it comes to braid outs, you want to do the exact opposite. I'm only getting my hair damp instead of soaking wet with each section, and I'm not adding more than a dime-sized amount of each product either. I do it this way because I find that adding too much water and product makes the braids hard to keep together at the ends, and they'll just overall look kind of looser. So spritzing each section with water and being stingy with product is key. The braids themselves will take care of the definition part for you. And also, like I mentioned earlier, the size of your braids are also an important part of the way they'll look when you unravel them. The bigger your braids are, then the less definition you'll have. So if you're wanting like a fluffy, voluminous braid out, then you want to do big braids. But if you want to have lots of definition like me, then try to stick with doing 1 to 2 inch size section braids. And be sure that you coil your ends the right way. Curly hair is very persistent when it comes to the way it curls. So if you try to coil the ends the opposite way that they want to coil, then your ends will literally come undone. So that's why you'll see me brushing my ends together. That way I can see which direction it wants to coil. Oh, and that braid I have in the front, I have there for a specific reason. Like I mentioned earlier, the direction you braid and the way you part your hair is super important. I didn't want to have a side or middle part, so I made sure to put a braid right in the middle to basically prevent that from happening. But I do wish I would have directed that front braid towards the back of my head instead of the front, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. So now that I'm pretty much done, I keep the braids in for 2 days to make sure that they're fully dry and had time to gain max definition. Unraveling them too soon could cause frizz, so keeping them in for 2+ days is best. And you can already see how much shine the products gave me, so I'm super excited for you guys to see the results. After waiting for 2 days, it's finally time to unravel the braids. I'm obviously doing this sped up, but you really want to make sure you're taking your time doing this just to prevent any frizz from happening. It's a really tedious process, but it really is worth it taking your time. So yeah, go ahead and I unravel each braid before moving on to the next step.
Focus, focus, I've been losing all control. Know this, I can't do it anymore. We've gone too deep, there's no place for me to fall. Can't believe I gave my all, can't believe I gave my. You're walking in the fast lane, you left my heart in the ashtray. Burn me like I'm propane, won't leave because love stays. I know I'm not the only dude, really hoping it wasn't true. Even gave you a chance to choose, but I'm doing what is best.
So this is my hair after I unravel all the braids, and you can see how much insane definition and shine I have, but I'm not done yet. So now I'm going to take each braid that I just unraveled and I'm going to separate them about 2 or 3 more times each. This will give my hair a lot more volume and some more definition. You don't want to unravel them too much because then it will cause frizz. But yeah, just 2 or 3 more times to give your hair some extra volume and some more definition so it's not as clumped together and flat.
Glad we didn't keep going. Dreams crush, keep going. It sucks because you're walking in the fast lane. You left my heart in the ashtray. Burn me like I'm propane. Won't leave because love stays. I know I'm not the only dude, really hoping it wasn't true. Even gave you a chance to choose, but I'm doing what is best for you.
So now that I'm finished separating all the braids 2 or 3 more times, I go in with my final step, which is my pick. And I fluff my roots out just a little bit for some additional volume so my hair doesn't look as lifeless. And be sure not to fluff your hair out too much on the first day because your hair will gain some volume anyways as the days go on.
Focus, focus, I've been losing all control. Know this, I can't do it anymore. We've gone too deep, there's no place for me to fall. Can't believe I gave my all.
Hey everybody, so after leaving the braids in for 2 days, these are my final results. As you can see, my hair has like an insane amount of definition and shine. I'm really happy with the way it came out. Especially because this is only my 3rd time doing a braid out and I didn't expect it to turn out this good, so I'm really happy I chose to record this time. I'm going to be doing 1 more braid out tutorial and maybe 2 more twist out tutorials on me and my brother. He doesn't know that yet, so that'll be a surprise for him. If you haven't already, be sure to have my post notifications on so you can get notified when those videos are up. I actually pre-uploaded a bunch of videos, so you guys will have like 3 months of content. No more excuses. I'm consistent now. I have videos planned for you guys. So yeah, anyways though, if you guys follow this tutorial, feel free to send me pictures of your results on Instagram and I'll post you in my story. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys in my next video.
Keep going. Dreams crush, keep